these talks. Views were also exchanged on regional security and further promoting ties between the armed forces of the two countries. The President of Pakistan conferred Nishan-e-Pakistan, the highest civilian honor, on our valued guest from Indonesia. The two leaders also held a meeting to review bilateral ties, shared values, and future cooperation. At the conclusion of the visit, a joint statement was issued, which I'm sure you must have seen. The statement commemorated 75 years of our friendly cooperative ties. It called for expansion of diplomatic and economic relations, strengthening of interparliamentary relations, removal of trade barriers, and enhanced cooperation in service sector, Islamic finance, and halal foods. It took note of the global developments and regional issues, including the Jammu and Kashmir dispute and the dire humanitarian situation in Palestine. It reaffirmed the cooperation at a variety of multilateral forums, particularly of D8, where Indonesia will be assuming the chair in 2026. Our Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, held two important telephone calls this week. On the 8th December, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister spoke to the Foreign Minister of Iran, Mr. Abbas Araghchi. The two leaders discussed bilateral ties and regional developments. They also appreciated frequent high-level exchanges on matters of mutual interest and look forward to engagement during the upcoming International Forum of Peace and Trust in Ashgabat, Turkmenistan. On the 5th December, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister held a telephone call with the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, during which the two leaders discussed regional developments, particularly in the context of Gaza. The Deputy Prime Minister strongly condemned Israel's unilateral plan to restrict Rafah crossing for the exit and entry of Gaza residents only, deeming it a clear violation of the peace plan and a move that undermines humanitarian access. Both leaders reaffirmed their commitment to ensuring unfettered aid to Gaza and advancing coordinated efforts towards lasting peace. This week, the Indian External Affairs Minister made some remarks on an Indian news channel. We categorically reject and condemn these highly inflammatory, baseless, and irresponsible comments. Pakistan is a responsible state, and all its institutions, including armed forces, are a pillar of national security, dedicated to safeguarding the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country. The May 2025 conflict vividly demonstrated Pakistan's armed forces' professionalism as well as their resolve to defend the motherland and the people of Pakistan against any Indian aggression in a befitting, effective, and yet responsible manner. No amount of propaganda can belie this truth. The attempts by the Indian leadership to defame Pakistan, state institution, and its leadership are part of a propaganda campaign designed to distract the attention from India's destabilizing action in the region and beyond, as well as its state-sponsored terrorism in Pakistan. Such incendiary rhetoric emanating from New Delhi only exemplifies the extent of India's disregard for amity, peace, and stability in our region. Pakistan believes in coexistence, dialogue, and diplomacy. However, it stands firm and fully resolved and resolute in our intent and ability to safeguard our interest and national sovereignty. You must have seen, dear colleagues, that on the Israeli statement concerning the opening of Rafah crossing last week, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, along with the foreign ministers of Egypt, Jordan, the UAE, Indonesia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, issued a joint statement expressing deep concern regarding Israeli statements about the opening of Rafah crossing in one direction with the aim of transferring residents of Gaza Strip into Arab Republic of Egypt. The ministers underscored their absolute rejection of any attempt to expel the Palestinian people from their land, and stressed the necessity of the full adherence of the plan proposed by the US President Donald Trump, including its provision on keeping the Rafah crossing open in both directions, ensuring the freedom of movement for the population, and refraining from compelling any resident of the Gaza Strip to create the right condition for them to stay on their land, and participation in building their homeland within a comprehensive vision at restoring stability, improving their humanitarian condition. The minister underscored the need to fully sustain the ceasefire, alleviate the suffering of the civilians, and provide an unrestricted entry and exit of humanitarian assistance into the Gaza Strip, initiate early recovery of reconstruction efforts, and create conditions necessary for the Palestinian authorities to resume its responsibilities, thereby laying groundwork for a new phase of security and stability in the region. The ministers also reaffirmed readiness to continue working and coordinating with the United States and all regional and global stakeholders, implement fully the resolution 2803, UN Security Council resolution that is, and all relevant earlier resolution, provide for groundwork for achieving a just, comprehensive and sustainable peace in accordance with international legitimacy and two-state solution, which will lead to the establishment of an independent Palestinian state on the lines of 4th June 1967, including the occupied territories in Gaza and the West Bank, with East Jerusalem, Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. Just this morning, we also issued a press release on the fourth bilateral political consultations between Pakistan and Tunisia, where our delegations was headed by Additional Foreign Secretary Ambassador Hamid Asghar, and the Tunisian side was headed by Director General Asia Ambassador Salim Ghariani. The areas discussed full spectrum of political cooperation. The two our heads of delegation discussed ways to deepen economic cooperation ahead of the 10th Joint Commission meeting between Pakistan and Tunisia, which is scheduled in 2026 in Islamabad. The delegates agreed to enhance coordination on multilateral organizations, particularly the UN and the OIC, and exchange regional and international views on regional and international developments, including the Middle East, Palestine, and North Africa. Additional Foreign Secretary Hamid Asghar also met Mohammed bin Ayad, the Secretary of the State of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Tunisia, and they agreed to further deepen the bilateral ties in all fields. So I'll end at that and open the floor for question and answers. Ji, Tahir sahab.
नाज़िर, आप देख सकते थे इस्लामाबाद से, जहां पर तर्जुमान दफ्तर ख़ारजा ताहिर हुसैन इंद्राबी न्यूज़ ब्रीफिंग दे रहे थे। उनकी जानिब से जो दौरा किया गया था इंडोनेशिया के सदर की जानिब से, उस मुतालिक ब्रीफ किया गया। उन्होंने भारतीय वज़ीर ख़ारजा के इश्तियाल अंगेज़ बयानात को मुस्तरद कर दिया। पाकिस्तान ज़िम्मेदार मुल्क है, अपनी ज़िम्मेदारियों का एहसास करता है और ज़िम्मेदारियों से आगाह भी है। भारतीय वज़ीर ख़ारजा की जानिब से जो इश्तियाल अंगेज़ बयानात दिए गए हैं, उस मुतालिक भी उन्होंने कहा कि हम उसे मुस्तरद करते हैं। चेयरमैन एब्सब सेमिनार से खिताब कर रहे हैं।
100 कॉलेजेस का तोहफा दिया है मियाँ साहब ने, इस मुल्क को 1000 स्कूल्स का तोहफा दिया है मियाँ साहब ने, इस मुल्क को 4 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ दी हैं और 6 लाख बच्चा वहाँ पढ़ रहा है। तो मैं मियाँ साहब को अपने हीरो के तौर पर ले